All right, so we are live, and we're going to be talking about how to improve your listings, drive more traffic, convert more sales, and ultimately use keywords and other clues and things of that nature to make your brand and make everything better on Amazon. So my name is Kevin Sanderson from Maximizing E-commerce, and I'm excited to be joined here by my good friend Christian Otto Kelm from Amalyze, who's helping you analyze your Amazon to make things better. So, Christian, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us here again. I think 3 years now in a row, maybe 4.
Yeah.
I've written it's the 14th summit. Am I right?
Yes, this is our 14th summit. So
I have a lot of slides and presentations over the last years, and it's always an enjoyment and a lot of fun to go into your talks. Of course, we prepare when, especially for you, you know that.
Yes.
We have that specific topics, and normally we are German-based, so there are a few themes that are not typically the same in Europe versus United States. And so, yeah, hopefully it's helpful for all of you here.
Well, thank you for that, and appreciate Amalyze's continuing support. And for those of you watching, we just want to make sure, again, I say this like there's always some technology thing. I gave Christian the wrong link. Mm-hmm. So I went and I was like, oh, let me check the calendar appointment. And I'd given Christian the wrong link. So we're a couple minutes late, not to Christian's fault, but to Kevin's fault. And so every now and then something doesn't go the way we planned. So if you can, just quell my fears and make sure you can hear me. So if you don't mind putting in the chat, I can hear you, click the thumbs up, whatever, give us an emoji, whatever. Let us know you can hear us. And just keep in mind, we will reward participation from time to time. Not everybody, but it's unexpected. So you never know when it's going to happen. And I will say this as well. Last night, we had several winners in our pre-summit orientation, and I promised a lot of people a lot of stuff. And I will get to that. It's just today's the first day of the summit, so you can imagine there's a lot of moving pieces that have to happen to make this happen successfully. But if I promised you a VIP upgrade or anything like that, it will happen today.
Yeah. From my point of view, everybody is a winner who has the ability or the possibility to take the time to stay in the live video. Of course, to the fact now you can ask directly your questions, you get the input or maybe the input from other participants. So everybody who is directly live in the video is an absolutely winner. Of course, you are open to give some free time for that input that can build your business to the next level or your PDP, and that is awesome.
Yes. So when I worked at the Magical Mouse in Orlando, we had, at the time, I don't think they call it this anymore, but we had PDPs, and it was called a performance development plan, which is basically your annual review. So what is a PDP in this context for folks who are not familiar?
Normally it's the product detail page. So your product detail page on Amazon. PDP is a normal word, not only for Amazon. You can have your PDP on your online shop, Walmart or whatever, product detail page.
Awesome. So the product detail page. So the good news is we have some folks who are helping us feel better that they can hear us. So Alex says loud and clear. Facebook user says 3 thumbs up. Now, Facebook user, I will just throw this out there. If you want to be anonymous on the live stream, that's fine. But Facebook's privacy policies for in a private group is that it will show your name, like with Chad here, loud and clear, only if you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. You never have to do this ever again if you're in another live stream about, cat videos or macrame or something like that, and whatever other ones people are in. You do not have to do this more than once. So just go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, and I might even have a banner for that. And they usually put it in the description automatically. So it might even be a clickable link in the description if you're in Facebook right now. But also wanted to say that we have JTSJ J Tesori Irio. I apologize. I've Tesori. I keep wanting to pronounce it like there's a neighborhood, like one exit off of I-95 from where I live. It's El Tesoro, and I keep wanting to pronounce it like that. So, sorry. Shelly, also a thumbs up. Carrie Thomas, sound is good. Thank you, Carrie. Jason says, let's go. I love that. So let's go. And then Amar says, hi. Jen will be fine. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jen. We'll call you Jen. So Jen, thank you. Thank you for letting me off the hook. All right. So on that note, Alec was the first person to comment.
Yeah.
Chad said loud and clear. Jason said, let's go. And Jen let me off the hook. The four of you chosen somewhat at random, but not really. Email me, kevin@maximizingecommerce.com, and I will give you complimentary access to the Convert More Click Summit from earlier this year. We will learn how to drive more traffic and convert more sales. It's $197 value. Yours free just because I liked your comments. And for those of you I didn't pick, it is not because I don't like your comments. Stick around because we will have more giveaways later on today. So, and everyone will be a winner in one way, shape, or form because we will all have knowledge. And if you implement what you learn in the summits, then good things will happen to you. Well, you'll at least, we can't promise any particular result. So if the lawyers are watching, but we can say if you do not take action, we can promise you will not get the result of taking action. So there's no guaranteed result except for not taking action. Then you're guaranteed to not get the result.
That's really funny as you were saying that like that. Amazon is using the same phrase when they are sending out specific new data, like everybody who's using sponsored products for new products will see an uplift in brick and mortar stores of 17%. And then down there, that doesn't mean you will have that success. That is only the data average of the past time.
Right.
We are always using it, and I really loving it. Of course, on LinkedIn, you're seeing all the posts. Well, it's absolutely important to do it like this and that. And then the sentence is missing, and everybody is believing in, oh yeah, that must be truth.
Right. Exactly. You got to be you got to be careful sometimes. Throw in the disclaimer. So no guarantees in this world. But I think everyone here is in business. If you've been in business for longer than 5 minutes, you know nothing is guaranteed. But if you don't take action, you will be left behind. So what are some things that you think folks should be taking action on right now, Christian? Now to just put you right on the spot.
Normally, as you said, you always have to make a decision. The stressful situation in your life is when you're not coming to a specific decision and when you're moving around, should I do this or that? And you start to wait and find the benefits and the negative parts, and you start to write lists. At the end, you have to make a decision. And hopefully it's not the worst decision, but you can change everything you have done. It's like with a keyword research. You're doing it not once. You can do it twice, a third time. You can change your title. You can change your bullet points. You can change your images. But at the beginning, you have to decide for image, for title, for bullet point. Of course, if you are not doing so, you will never, ever have a PDP, and you're never going to reach a customer and have a product sold on Amazon. And so the stressfulest time in our life is when you are not making a decision. Of course, when you're making the decision, you will see the impact of it, and then you can change the direction or follow your path. And that's the most important thing also on Amazon. Like, should I set my bid higher or lower? Don't think about it. Calculate it correct, change it, and then with the next data, you will see if it was correct or not. That's the way.
Yeah, I agree. You got to make some sort of decision, and there's always that kind of tension when you're waiting, when you make a decision, and then you're waiting on some sort of result to come in.
Yeah.
So you and I were talking before this started. This is now my 14th virtual summit. Some people that are watching this signed up like the day we made it available. Some people signed up today. Some people might not sign up until Thursday when the countdown clock says we're about to close out sales. I get a little panicked every time. Like, oh my God, people aren't signing up the way I want them to. And then I have to remind myself, it's a hockey stick. At the last minute, a lot of people sign up. But I have to remind myself of that every time. And that's even with 14 times of experience. So for folks who are optimizing things on their listing and you hit submit and you're like, my sales didn't just go up instantaneously.
Yeah.
It's been 5 minutes since I hit submit, which I've had that feeling, where you're starting to doubt yourself. Like, did I make the right decision or not? So when we're talking about things like data, what are things you think about with making sure that like you're giving yourself ample time to decide the success of something you're working on?
Yeah, the first situation is really simple. Set your goals and accept the rules. So if you change your title and Amazon is showing you formerly in the last year it was 15 minutes to the change, and now there's the sentence it can take up to 24 hours to change. So our goal is to change the title, but we have to accept the rule, the fact that it will take time. And when it comes to the normal success management, or if you have reached your goal or not, or reporting cycles, I'm an absolutely fan of don't go the way of over-reporting. I will only follow one simple rule: report in the cycle in which you're making decisions and change things. So the simple situation. You're reporting and controlling your data on daily basis, but you're only able to change your images, for example, once a month. Of course, you have to send it to your graphic pro and have to rewatch it, and then you have to upload it, and that will take, let's say, 30 days. So why you have built it up, that reporting day by day if you're not able to change anything immediately? So that is one of the most relevant things also when it comes to PPC. Only check your data in the same time while you are changing your bids, for example. If you only change it once a week, it's absolutely enough to report it only once per week. Of course, if not, you're seeing such graphics, right? You only change it in that behavior. Also with images, keyword research, search volume per day. Oh yeah, here's the situation. But you only change your content once a month or once a quarter or half a year, and then it's enough to see one graph. Okay, it's non-seasonal keyword. It stays at the top all the time, or there are big movements from month to month. That is one of the best advices you can follow in your business course. It will smooth you down. You can keep calm and relax. Of course, you don't have that normal stress of report. You don't need it. You're not able to change your images minutely, hourly, or daily.
Yes, I agree. There's a lot you can do to look at data, and having a good barometer of how often should I look at the data? What does success actually look like? Not just, this is a cool new report that I want to go check out. So know what is actually helping you measure all that and make sure you got enough data sufficiency to make that happen. So we got a couple other comments here. I have no idea what that means. Maybe that stands for something.
Maybe it's backwards.
Jose Bo?
Maybe.
Norman, it's good to see you. Jason, who won a prize, said, woo, haven't won anything in a while. Well, congratulations. And like I said, everybody's a winner because you're here part of the summit. And I guarantee, just watch Christian's session in the summit and implement one thing he teaches you. Like, for example, looking up keywords, which we'll talk about here in just a second, to get clues on what is it that is important to people so that they can know so you can know what information to communicate so they can make a decision on buying your product. So, Jason, you are a winner. And for everyone who won, please make sure to describe as best as you can what I promised you. Because sometimes I literally am shooting from the hip. Let's give away that. Let's give away that. And I don't always remember what I said. So sometimes people are like, hey, I won. I'm so excited. I'm like,
all access.
Yeah, I've had to write people back and be like, this is what I think I promised you. Does that sound accurate? And if not, let me know. And worst case scenario, I can always go back and watch the recordings.
You can always
recorded.
rewatch when somebody is like, a VIP all access for the next 2 years. And we are like, wait a second.
Yes.
Rewatch, video assistant is calling.
Exactly. All right, so we got Olga MN saying, hello, guys. So hello, Olga. You sent me an email. I'll make sure to respond to that later on today. Also on that note with Olga, Olga, you're in Miami, right? Not Minnesota, if I remember correctly. Which Miami's not too far from where I'm located.
Norman again. Norman is multilingual.
All right, I think Norman's playing with us. But anyway, Norman, it's good to see you again. I have no idea what you're saying there, but hopefully it's appropriate and good.
Use people in the YouTube section.
Yes, exactly. Hopefully it doesn't get this this video shut down. Amar says, good advice. Yes, so we were talking about the data sufficiency and having good measurable data. Facebook user says, hi, Pam from RPC. Hi, Pam from RPC. Pam is RPC is one of our other sponsors. Amalyze is one of our sponsors. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I thought Republic of China.
Oh no, Rick and Pam Kale.
Sorry.
Yes, no, that would be People's Republic of China. PRC. PRC. Maybe in German it's RPC, but in English it's Gotcha. Facebook user says Bill in Mass. So I'm assuming that's in Massachusetts. Yeah. So welcome, Bill from Massachusetts. And for those of you who, because we will be doing giveaways, and if I don't know who you are, you can't win. So I highly recommend, this is not a requirement, but it is a well, it's not a requirement to watch the live stream, but it is a requirement if you want your name and face to show up when we bring up names and faces. YouTube's a public platform, so YouTube's terms of service, they just pass that along. But it just says Facebook user with a generic face, unless you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, which there's probably a link in the description to this video if you're in the Facebook group, and just authorize. It literally takes like 2 seconds. It brings up a little screen, you click OK, and then it goes away. And then when you comment in a Facebook group, not just this, but everywhere else, like Chad here, your name and face shows up. So that way we can give you credit. All right. So
Kevin.
Kevin.
I know what Norman was asking for.
What was he asking for?
Are we starting soon? That was the Chinese question from Norman.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So Norman wants to get into the core of it. So let's get into the core of it. Tell us a little bit about keywords. Now, we did talk a little bit about decision-making and data sufficiency. So I think that's still important.
From my point of view, we have started.
Yes. Yes, we definitely have started. But to get into keywords and increasing traffic and sales, which is the promise we made. So I want to make sure we fulfill that.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how we can do that with keywords.
But first of all, as we are live, please feel free to ask your questions if you directly have them, and we can directly answer them. That is absolutely cool. In that time, I will show you a non-tool, non-Amazon data-based simple hack you can directly use. From my point of view, I only want to share my screen. So we can directly see what we are talking about here. One simple thing we have figured out, but Kevin is activating it, and I want to show you one of the simplest hacks to figuring out the most or the more relevant key phrases you have to enter. You have to build into your listing or your PPC. Really, really easy. I will zoom to it. Of course, we're only talking about the Autosuggest. Everybody knows the Autosuggest. And I will go with that suggest shown here. You have that feature, I think, since half a year or so. And what I'm going to do is using iPhone case and charger, or whatever, or charging. We are seeing it here. But we know that if we are entering a letter more and a letter more, the Autosuggest will appear on the right side. But we will not find really cool insights and no mixed up Autosuggest. And so what you can do with plus or minus, or like I'm doing it with hashtag, you just have to enter it new school. So all Autosuggest, you have seen it, just entering a key phrase and make them longer and longer. But while using it in that way, you will see that the normal system of word after word after word will disappear, and you will see mixed up Autosuggests. And the last word is autofilled for, as you see it here, charger or charging, and you see much more higher impactful Autosuggest than the normal way, and I really, really like that. You can also do it on the short tails, dishwasher, for example, and hashtag pots. Yeah, you can see it here, or when you only go with pot, or absolutely with tab. So normally tabs, tablets, and you will find all that specific suggests. And what I like absolutely, when you go into the hard sections of, for example, how to write your size for your socks, for example. Let's go into it. We have woman, we have socks, sorry, not woman, women and socks, and you see mixed up. It's not absolutely all the time that specific arrangement. And now you're just entering, for example, number 6, and you're seeing 6 to 9. That is your what you have to write in your, for example, title or bullet points, backend keywords, or advertising. But what is with the number 7? To figuring out what is happening with the number 7, you just have to enter it, and you're seeing it. Size 7 is written alone, and size -9 is also written, and the next question should be 8. To make sure you're ranking to 8, we don't have to work with the 9 anymore, as you're seeing it. If we are going to the size of 9, normally it's 9 minus 12. That is absolutely incredible. And when you're going to 9, it's 9 to 11, or as we know it before, 7 to 9, 6 to 9. And so you're absolutely into your Autosuggest without using a tool. And that is so absolutely awesome to understand that simple little hack to make sure that you're into your customer. You don't need a tool. You will find the data on any tool. You will not find the data in Amazon tools. You will find all that suggests, but not so easy as here with the hashtag, and to figuring out how to write, for example, your sizes in the specific ways, figuring out if you maybe have to make a cut when it comes to advertising. I really like that with the sizes, as it changed it from 7 to 9, and then with the number 8, it changed it to 12. With the 9, it changed to 11. So you can figuring out really, really impactful long tail keywords. Of course, our product, for example, is 6 to 9. But when we are talking about advertising for all relevant keywords with connected to the number or size 9, we have to think wider, as we have seen it also with the 8. And that is one of the easiest way to use Amazon by its own. Of course, the customer is interacting with a search field while entering their own words, their own wordings, interacting with the Autosuggest. But from my point of view as SEO and FBA pros, we are always looking for the details and the next word behind it. But the customer is not working in that way. A customer knows shoe size is 7 and they are entering 7. They are not thinking about, yeah, I'm 7, but I have to search for 6 to 11 or 6 to 9. When you're not mentioning the number 7 and 8 or specific writings, you will not appear in search with PPC and SEO, search engine optimization, for that specific keywords. And that is so absolutely easy. And when we are talking about the next step behind it, it's not about just mentioning the numbers in somewhere. Yeah, you can put it in the title or in the backend, keywords, bullet points, whatever. We have to think about the customer. He's entering it, he's seeing your product, he or she or whoever, and is only seeing 7 to 9 or whatever. But he's looking for, he, she, 7 or 8. The next picture should be a big image of our socks are fitting from 6, 7, 8 to 6, 7, 8 to 9. So you're showing that 4 numbers big as possible, so everybody's understanding that, or in the main image to make sure everybody understands what he is seeing here. As we have seen, 8 to 12, that's not good for the direct conversion, but you need it for the search because you are 8 and 9, and also with a 9 to 11. You are a 9, not a 10 and 11, but for backend it's relevant. And when the customer has clicked, he needs to understand immediately, I'm here from 6 to 9. It makes sense. I have a 9, perfect fit. I can wear it. And with that hashtag Autosuggest, you will see more mixed up results in the Autosuggests. So you have an easier access to absolutely cool data from my point of view.
Got it. So basically, that's just, if I can summarize briefly, you can go to Amazon, type in your word in Autosuggest. Normally, if you're typing it in, it's going to be an exact phrase, like women's shoes, and then whatever comes after women's shoes. Whereas if you type in a hashtag before each word instead of having a space in between, it will mix around the order.
Yeah. Absolutely, and you find the most relevant key phrases, but you don't can change just the space to a hashtag. You have to enter it step by step, and then you will see the new Autosuggests behind it, and that's really, really cool from my point of view. Of course, it's so absolutely easy to do so. You don't need access to a tool. You don't need access to brand analytics. Everybody knows that the UI and all that stuff from Amazon data tools is well, it's okay, but sometimes it's much more. Which data is it? How I have to handle it? Can I download it? And so you can directly work in the Autosuggest. And so it's a free tool from Amazon for us.
Yeah, we love free tools like that. So okay, so let's say they start finding relevant words. What are some other things they could do with those words?
Yeah, as I said, one of the biggest mistakes I'm always seeing is that they are only filling that words in backend keywords, for example, or in the title or bullet points. You have to go the long way. You have to make sure that your images are talking the same languages as your SEO or as your written content, to make sure that everybody understands your listing also without reading. The text is normally more for being searchable, being indexed and findable for specific search. But after that, everybody is looking at the images. And when you're then messing up with a customer, for example, woman socks size whatever, you need a woman at your second, third, or whatever image. The terms of service for fashion are really, really hard. But let's talk it as simple as possible. You have a hairy leg. Normally that means it's man, and you have a shaved leg or a smaller leg, and then it's normally more female. Yeah, you know what I mean. And so you have to make sure when you understand the search, fill it in both parts. Make an image for it, and on the other side, put it in your text. Stephen Pope, my Amazon guy, was part of a conference in Prague, I think in March or April, and I found it really, really cool. Of course, he goes one step further while using that number one keyword or feature or function or whatever is relevant and write it in your title. Fashion is maybe a bad example because the terms of service are really, really hard ruled. And we are not talking about writing women's socks in the sock, so everybody can understand that. But maybe it's a specific cotton, or maybe it's specific size, a bigger size, a smaller size, and then write it just into the sock so everybody understands directly. That's what I've searched. The click rate will explode, your PPC will explode, of course, if you understand the image and the rest of it image you're not understanding directly, you will not start to click and look. That one product that is fitting that specific benefits, like the naming in the main image, will work better. Stephen Pope has an absolutely cool example. I think 3 or 4 examples in different products why he has used it. So that's working. So we have to think in 3 situations, put it in your content, put it in your normal images, and also make sure that in the first image, one of your features, the naming or whatever, is placed there. Last but not least, I've talked about that was the biggest mistake, but the worst mistake is to not fill it into your data. Of course, Amazon has on the one point the image scenarios and the content in form of text, EBC and all that stuff, bullet points, etc. But there are also data fields. And you have to make sure that in that data fields, the correct data is used in it. Yeah. And so when it comes to size, make sure you are filling up that data field. When it comes to gender, make sure put in women, not men. On the one side, it's relevant for the algorithm and for the shown products. On the other side, it's absolutely relevant for the left side of the search, for all that filters you can use. And so we are talking about 4 scenarios where to fill in that specific data. You maybe have known through that simple hack with Autosuggest. Really simple: text, images, main image, of course, 2 steps in the images, and the other one is data.
Love that. All right, so folks, if you have questions, feel free to drop them into the chat. We do have a few comments and questions we'll get to here in just a second, but make sure you put them into the chat. And this is your chance to get Christian, who is an expert, who's bringing a different perspective than I think we oftentimes hear in the US, to talk about keywords and putting things in data and all that fun stuff so that you can drive more sales and traffic to your listings. Ryan P says yes, or yay. Heather Henson says, Heather from Louisiana. Hello, Heather from Louisiana. I'm Kevin from Florida, but I grew up in Texas, and I have family that lives on the other side of Louisiana in Biloxi, Mississippi. Olga says yes, which I'm assuming is related to my question from Olga. Are you in Miami, not Minnesota? So hello, Olga, my neighbor. Sort of. I'm like an hour and a half to 2 hours from Miami, depending on traffic and where someone is. Amar has a question. What are the best ways to do variations? Which I'm sure could probably go in a couple different directions with that question.
Yep. So with variations, I'm on warpath with variations. I really don't like variations. Variations reduce your possibility of showing products in the SERP. Of course, at the moment, there's a beta in the US, but in Europe, you only will find one product in the search if you have a variation. And so that has a direct impact on your PPC. Also in PPC, only one ASIN of your variation will be shown in search. So you have maximum of 2 slots per SERP. But there are a lot of simple tricks and hacks to manage variations. Of course, let's talk about 2, just a variation of 2. You have doubled up your SEO power, your SEO power. Of course, 2 titles, 10 bullet points. You doubled up your backend keywords. You doubled up your A+ content. You doubled up your brand story. You doubled up your images, and so you can just play around with that. You can use different naming. So woman, that one is more focused on female. The other one is more focused on sport stuff. The other ASIN is more on yoga stuff or gymnastic stuff. And you can work with that on the one side. On the other side, you can prioritize your keywords. If you have data, you know what is your bestseller. Your bestseller gets the most relevant keywords, not in search volume, just on revenue based, for example. And specific long tail keywords, you can build up a system of putting them where, and you can change it. And also with variation, sometimes you have one title for all of your products in the variation. So when it comes to soft variations like socks, fashion, and so on, but you can fill in every title of every child behind it, and nobody will see that title. And you can build up an impactful SEO. You can't believe how impactful it is at the end. Also, when you have hard variations and every title is shown, make sure you're writing outdoor lights with solar function, outdoor lights, or all that stuff, waterproof, weatherproof, water resistant, and you can fill it all in your titles and just rotate the key phrases and the syntaxes and the synonyms. That is awesome. And when we can change all of that, titles, images, bullet points, backend keywords, brand story, EBC, we can also change the data behind it. Of course, there are sometimes special events, for example, in the Seller Central, and when you can enter Christmas, Valentine's Day, Halloween, or specific other things in the backends, you will find the related data, the values in your flat file, and you can directly see all the different possibilities, and that is really, really awesome. So variations on the one side for SEO and all that stuff were really cool. On the other side, you will reduce your SERP power. But you can also divide your variations and have that impact of rotated synonyms and so on. Of course, then every product will run for itself, will be shown for itself, and that's really, really cool. And as I'm not a friend of variations, I've searched a long time to find another expert who's on the same way, and I found Stephen Pope. And it's taking it really, really easy. He's saying when you have a product with more or near to 50% of the sales, cut it. Take it out of the variation. Just let it run alone. It seems to be a parent standalone product, absolutely impactful. It converts. Just let it move around. Let it go. It's like a little children is growing up to a teenager or whatever you want to call it. And when it comes to 50%, just divide it. From my point of view, if you're seeing a split of 20-20-20 and the rest of the 30% is making up the 10 ASINs or whatever, also split that 3 main products. Just make sure the customer will find them via PPC or via SEO in the SERPs, and the rest will not sell more. Of course, they are hidden from the customer. Of course, they will not be shown, special colors, special sizes, and whatever. So that is a way to work with variations.
All right. And so,
sorry, I see the second question. Can you show us the data fields? Of course, I can. In the site monitor, I have just opened up a flat file at the same time and have searched for size. Don't ask how I have done that. And here you can find it, for example, size, and you will find all the information. You will not find all of the information in the backend. The backend is limited. The flat files are the way to handle it, and then you can find all the values here and figuring out what you can enter, and with variations much more easier. Of course, you can enter more of them to make sure you are shown under all that specific data terms. So that's the easiest way. Flat file. Of course, Seller Central backend is sometimes limited to not all of the power of the data.
Yeah, no, one thing too is it's a good idea to learn flat files, even if you're not going to use them a lot, so you can at least see more of the data. Yeah. Like, for example, if you go and you pull what's called the category listings report, which is basically the flat file of your catalog.
Reverse flat file, yeah.
Exactly. So you're pulling the data out to see what's in there. you can see if somebody's been messing with it. It could be the catalog team doing something, just because they thought something needed to be filled in.
Absolutely.
Or it could be a competitor, a nefarious actor who's putting in like cures cancer or something, or it's a pesticide and they're trying to mess with you. So
it's the easiest way to figure out if you have a suppressed listing normally. When some wordings are in it or wrong product type. Normally, that's the biggest thing. What is happening? The catalog team is changing your product type from a trash can to waste bags. And
and they market it as an adult product.
Yeah, or you mark, but that's horrible. When you're an adult product,
not because adults use it, but
you're losing all your momentum, all your SEO. You're just disappearing immediately. Thanos, Thanos is just splitting it into half. Amazon is just disappearing your listing.
Oh, gotcha, just disappearing. Yes, okay, got it.
That's hard. That's really hard.
Yeah. So definitely keep an eye on your back end, and if there's one piece of your backend data, and fill in as many available spots. I'm guilty of not being as good about that. And I have a rep from Amazon. He's always harping me about fill in. It only helps.
Yeah.
It only helps the algorithm and as a defensive strategy to prevent others from doing it too.
Absolutely.
All right. Garth Fleming asks, is it a good idea to change keywords in the backend frequently as Brand Analytics offers new ones? I guess that's kind of a hot topic. How often would you recommend folks change those backend keywords?
Yeah, that's absolutely simple. Of course, I have a big client with over 1 million SKUs. They are changing it daily.
Okay.
Yeah, we're working with our
on
API.
All million SKUs. That's a lot of changes.
Yeah, but we are working with our API. Amalyze has an own API, and when new data are in it, they can change it. The most important part of it is you don't change it. Just don't change it for the change.
Okay.
Make sure you're monitoring the rest of the keywords if you have your ranking safe. So when change the keywords, if you're losing your ranking for a disappeared keyword from your listing, you have to move it back. Everybody is just talking about change keywords, but we have to rechange maybe to the old words. Of course, we are losing maybe impactful keywords. For frequency, that is the thing that is discussable. Of course, from my point of view, the customers changed that search behavior, so you have to change your listing. The frequency Stephen, quote Stephen, that's normally the best scenario, says, I think after 500 sales, from my point of view, that's okay. But if you're selling 10,000 sales per day, you have to change it all the day. You have to figure out what can you do. And as we have talked at the beginning, if you report all the day, but you are only able to change it once a month, then have a deeper look in that and make sure you're monitoring the old keywords and figuring out is the new keyword you're ranking for. And then always have a look on changes. And it's absolutely normal to change your direction of your listing. We are not talking about from make a trash can to a mobile phone case. We are just talking about trash can to garbage can, back to trash bin and all that stuff. Or what I found, garage bin. Of course, that isn't the topic in Europe, but in the United States, you normally have your trash and garbage in the garage. So
yes. So like we have a bigger bin that we use.
Yeah.
In our garage that we take out on for Tuesday and Friday pickup from waste management.
Exactly. And so you have to keep that in mind, and then you will change it step by step.
All right. So Olga says, yes, I am from Miami. You're a neighbor. So she did confirm that was what's going on there, which I'm about an hour and a half, 2 hours from Miami. Not too far. Olga says, sorry for stupid question. Do not apologize, and it's not a dumb question. I guarantee other people will benefit from whatever this question is. And I haven't even gotten to that far in the sentence yet. But where to put keyword in images?
So on the one side, for the normal images, you don't can. Of course, there is the typical PT 01.ASIN, PT 02.ASIN, and so on. So for the normal image, that doesn't make any sense. As I have talked about putting the keyword into the image, that means you have a picture of a bottle and you're writing into it 1 liter or whatever, 1 gallon or 3 gallon. So that is what we're talking about. Writing the most relevant keyword on the image of your listing. On the other side, as Steven is posting it every year or every quarter in the United States, not in Europe, but in the United States, you can use that tags in your brand story and the images and in your EBC, A+ content. So you will find a meta description for every picture, and then you can fill in specific keywords, and that's really, really impactful for Amazon, as Steven is showing it in the United States. In Europe, if you're interested in, it's only working for Google, for external search, and not for the Amazon algorithm. But yeah, that's absolutely the typical ways. The meta tags, it's called meta tags.
Alt text, yeah.
Alt tags, yes, genau. So you have a lot of possibilities, brand story, A+, where you can fill it in.
Yeah, so it's basically you're helping the customer to communicate things. And in your presentation, you even gave an example of you're not even using a word, you're just demonstrating a keyword that they're clearly looking for, like dimmable, for example. So you would be the variations of dimming that you're, or just
as we talked about the auto lights. Yep.
Olga also asks what to do with unisex items, how to sell keyword, or how to keyword it, as usually have to put men or women.
Man, women, woman, and all that stuff. Maybe also teenager. Of course, the grown-ups are normally big enough to wear the same clothes, for example. With unisex items, normally you have a variation. If you don't have, you will find a back-end scenario where you have to enter the gender, and you can, for example, choose between unisex, male and female. You have the specific categories, so for men, for women, and for all that stuff. You have to decide for one of them, and for the title, you can write both into the title for man and woman and unisex, 3 simple words. Hopefully in that scenario, you have multiple listings, so more than 2 means 3, so you can use the data field man, the data field women, the data field unisex. That makes it much more easier for your variation, when you have one, to be shown in the SERPs, and when you don't have one, you have one that is ranking for unisex, specific search, one for man, one for women. That's the easiest way to use that system. And yes, unisex items are normally a problem. But from my point of view, I've worked in the fashion, I think, since 7-8 years, not only socks, also clothing, jewelry, and all that stuff. Normally, there is a specific gendered color. Some warm colors are more likely purchased by men or women, and some darker colors are more purchased by men or women. And normally, you know that at least by the reviews. Maybe you see the namings if it's more female or male names, or the addresses for the shipment, and then you can readjust your products. For example, that sounds stupid, I know, but a yoga mat with a bodybuilder on it in the images or in the title, yoga mat for bodybuilders, and that doesn't make any sense. So you have to figure out that would be awesome. Arnold Schwarzenegger with a yoga mat, with his big hands and then the little yoga mat. You have to figure out what is your really customer
audience. Who are
audience.
You targeting?
Yeah. And then you have to make a decision, as we have talked about at the beginning. You have to make a decision when you can count your numbers of traffic, clicks, conversion rate, and when it's moving down, you have to change it. When it's moving up, you have made a good decision. And Amazon is offering A/B tests for it, where you can A/B test your image, your title, your bullet points, your description, your A+. And so you can really simple figuring out what is the best for your unisex item.
All right, so I love that. So I am putting together a list right now of summits that Amalyze has been a sponsor of, and I might even be missing some.
Yeah, when you're here first time, make sure you're not missing the PPC summits. Of course, Kevin is a mastermind of summits. So on the one side, it's brand building. Of course, you need a brand, you need a product. On the other side, pay to play. Yeah, PPC is a hard factor. Amazon advertising is a hard factor. And so there are also PPC summits where you can learn more about the aspects of Amazon advertising. So don't miss them out.
Yes. All right. So share my screen. So if you want to win all of the summits, past summits that Amalyze has been a sponsor of. So thank you to Amalyze for that. So let me go ahead and just share my screen here real quick. Share screen, entire screen, share. Come on. There we go. All right. All right. So how do I make? I swear I'm so conditioned to Microsoft. Yeah. How do I make not bullet points but numbers? A numbered list.
In Germany, in Germany, I know it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's 10 summits, which would be $197 value for each of those. That's a $1,970 value of recordings. We're going to give away all of them. We'll do a random drawing here. So all you got to do if you want to be entered to win is, Christian, can you show everyone your shirt? Amalyze. Just type in Amalyze into the chat, and we will pick a winner here soon. So just type in Amalyze into the chat. And so you will be entered to win. You must enter to win. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. Feel free to drop it in the comments. But once we do the drawing is over. So so on that note, I just want to share my screen again here real quick.
Oh, well, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's going to blow up here in just a second. So it's going to take me a moment or two to type all that in.
You have to write them down.
Yes. So while everyone is typing that in, we have Amalyze. Just want to real quick say you can sign up for free for Amalyze. Yeah. Just go to maximizingecommerce.com/Amalyze. Let me make sure I've got it. So if you just go to this address, maximizingecommerce.com/Amalyze, it'll take you to this page here where you can click to sign up for free. Very German, very straight to the point, but it is in English. You can sign up and get started. So you can register for Amalyze Shield, start out for free, which is a very generous offer. They've got a lot of really cool bells and whistles when it comes to
everything is included. There's no feature you will miss out or something. So it's the professional plan. So it's the mid-highest plan. And so you can really work through that stuff, and you can directly start to work. That's really cool.
Yeah, so definitely recommend. Check it out. It's a free trial, so you might as well check it out because they've got some really cool tools. I like the way they present keywords in ways I don't see with other tools as well, so that's super exciting. So on that note, now I got to get typing here. This is going to so can you help me? Yeah, exactly. So we're going to do spin to win.
Yeah. Let's start with Facal, Facal.
Okay.
Then we have Jennifer, Brandon, Kari, Kare, Chelly, Chad, Alec with C, yeah, Alec. After it's Susan, Fatima, Rosina with I think Set. Yeah. Then Rock, the Rock, train the Rock. Train the Rock.
We have the Rock himself here. Wow.
Yeah. Maybe he's drinking some tequila. Chris Sales. Yeah, you're at that Amar, Olga. So just Amar, then Olga. And then Heather. And Garth, Garth. Tresha with SH. Yeah. A Facebook user. No, that will not work.
Oh, this one just says, yes, I need extra help. Amalyze.
Ah, yeah, okay, we can name it like that. Yeah. Yes, I need
yes.
extra help.
All you got to do, which if you want to be entered to win, just go to streamyard.com/Facebook or comment again, but put your name, say Amalyze dash whatever, because this person, we don't know who you are, but we do know Saul.
Cravings and favorites.
Cravings and favorites. That's an interesting one.
It sounds like a brand page of a YouTube channel or so. Then Jamie with AI.
Jamie.
Lydon, Lydon. Yeah. And of course, Golden Coqueto. Yeah.
Chad says, I'm not entering because I attended many of these and still have VIP access. Great info. Well, thank you for that, Chad. Glad you're enjoying.
But we have Chat Hutspeth. We have another chat. So Chat Hutspeth, it's in it, and Chat True is not entering. Xiachu. Xia OCHOU.
Yep. We have Facebook user, but we don't know who you are. So this is going to be last call. So Facebook user, we cannot identify you from our vantage point. So you are not entered to win. You have 4 seconds to enter, to put Facebook, to just type in the comment, Amalyze -name. Otherwise, once we hit the wheel to spin, it is too late. So on that note, going once, going twice, we're going to spin. I have no control over what happens. This is completely random.
Green. Yeah!
All right, green. Susan. Email me, Susan. You were the winner of all of these summits here, which is about $1,970 value. Just make sure to email Kevin at maximizingecommerce.com. Let me know you won, that you or Susan, the one who won. And then everyone else, you can go to maximizingecommerce.com/Amalyze and sign up for a free trial. So yes, Susan, congratulations. It is great. And for those of you who are VIPs, check your email inbox. You should have just received an email from me with the link to our VIP Q&A session, which is happening in about 1 minute. So I'm going to have to run to that. Christian, thank you for joining us. And to everyone who's here, thank you as well. And everyone, enjoy the rest of the summits.